Hello everybody, welcome to Once America. Two Brits talking about the US of A.
Hello everyone.
And all the insanity that is going on over there. It looks bizarre and bonkers from where we stand. How does it feel from where you stand?
Welcome to any Americans. Welcome to everyone who isn't American and is just in the rest of the world who knows that whatever happens in America affects all
the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And good evening to our regulars.
Hello.
Lovely to see you all.
If you're new, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you will be notified when we want to comment on things like America.
So we've had a good old day. This morning we had coffee moaning where Mark went right through the news.
Yeah, touched on Ghislaine,
but it was more sort of Gaza and home news. And then of course we had the Curly Cuts Croydon. That was a lot of fun out in the garden today. And now we are finishing off with this because we're going to have the day off tomorrow.
Yes, we absolutely are. So if I was to just say to you, Nads, what's the story that's pumping through your veins? Because I mean, you're across everything. What's the most alarming part of Trump's weirdness?
Oh my God. Just right across the board. The ICE it really truly horrifies me watching the way that masked men are now able, with not identifying themselves, drag people out of their homes, off streets. The fact that people are impersonating ICE agents. There's been a number of terribly sad cases where women have been taken off and they've been raped. I mean, my God, imagine you think that you're being arrested by an ICE agent and it's somebody dressed up as an, which is bad enough. And then even worse, it's a maniac dressed up as an ICE agent. And the fact that it seems to be that they're almost, I mean, maybe it just feels like that because of the bit of what we see, but it feels like a dictator is now in charge. Yeah. And we're practically a martial law.
Yeah, I've ordered a book.
And that's not an exaggeration, is it, Mark?
I've ordered a book by Sinclair Lewis, and apparently it was written back in 1939, and it's about what would happen if a dictator takes over America. And a lot of people are chatting about it, saying it predicts so much of what we're going through, which is slightly worrying. I think it's Sinclair Lewis. Everything in America feels like it's pointing towards total catastrophe, if I'm honest. And when I say catastrophe, I don't think catastrophe for the Trumps or billionaires or the wealthy or those who've got protection and armies and guns. But I think catastrophe for American society, and as a consequence for the rest of the world.
For all of us, because they don't. These people in charge do not care for human beings. He does not care. He does not care. No. And having listened to Michael Wolff, who's his chronicler, he was his biographer.
Very weird man.
Spent 7 years with him. No, 7 months. Sorry, whole 7 months. I listened to a new podcast where he was talking about the real ins and outs of day-to-day Trump.
Right.
And it frightened me even more. And of course, I think we were all terrified as we watched him walk into Putin's lair. Putin was as happy as Larry. And
strictly speaking, it was Trump's lair. It was America.
But it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't.
No, but you know what I'm driving at.
Yeah. And then, of course, him being alerted by Zelensky to the fact that actually, if you're at war, you can't have an election. So that's another huge worry, because I'm thinking, how many more wars would he like to make sure he doesn't have to have an election? Because we know he's a dirty cheat in everything.
Well, we're going to talk about all of those things. We're going to talk about ICE. We're going to talk about the hostility and the aggression and the viciousness of how they go about their business. We're obviously going to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. We were talking this morning briefly about it. We've got the clips. We've got some clips to play. Shocking, bizarre, and in her complete whitewashing of Trump almost makes the release of her tapes almost meaningless unless you don't have a brain cell. And we're also going to talk about things like John Bolton, his former close security advisor, who has had an FBI raid instigated. There's lots of little details that all together are just sinister.
And the Puff Daddy, the Puff Daddy stuff.
Yeah, I haven't got any of that in, but yeah, there is that running too. And we are also going to talk about the speculation amongst MAGA and on social media that maybe Donald Trump is dying.
Is this because of his bruises?
It is because of his hands.
And he looks terrible.
We're going to show you his hands later, but it's all very strange. So
we already have, Fee. We won't be going to America as long as Trump's in charge. No way.
I don't think we'd be let in. They look at all your social media, and if you express anything against America or against Israel, it's a big fat no. Given that Nadia said ICE and the crime wave, I've got a selection of clips here.
Or the non-crime wave, because actually crime is down in Washington.
Yeah, and this is the story that let me just find the story. Trump, up to 1,700 National Guard soldiers set to mobilize in 19 states as Trump cracks down on illegal immigration and crime. And this is Chicago, this is New York, this is Texas. And Hegseth today also announced that he's going to issue weapons for the troops that are patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. I'm surprised they didn't have weapons. You sort of think everyone in America has weapons all the time. But here's some clips. I'm just going to show you this.
President ICE, take this someone right now. You're going to take more of your community members from your city.
These are federal agents occupying your city.
These are federal agents occupying your city.
Pepper spraying civilians on the
Shame! Shame! Shame!
I know when you're in the bus, I can help you. Take it off, brother. I can help you.
He wants civil war. People have just got to not go out. This is what they want. He wants to make out America.
You can document them right there. Right there.
I have the right to see what's here. I know the law. You don't know the law. I have a right to see it.
Shame on you! Shame!
1, 2, 3.
Gaza. In our thousands, in our millions, we are Palestinians. What we let them do,
we could see from people that haven't.
Stay back. I'm not going to ask you again. Stay back.
Yeah,
but I mean that is like tame compared to. The stuff
I've got another one coming.
I mean, it's just disgusting, and the way that many of these ICE agents are just like they've just been called up almost, haven't they?
Well, if you go to the White House's Instagram account or the Department of Homeland Security, it's full wall to wall with adverts, recruitment adverts. Your country needs but all those old-fashioned American World War II ones and British, your country needs you. Your country needs you.
But he was saying this right before he was in office. We have an invasion. You don't.
No.
You haven't got an invasion.
No, crime statistics have gone down.
But that's the way that he can do away with all rules and regulations because if at war, if there's an invasion, the president can just do whatever he wants.
So stick with us. We're going to be talking about Ghislaine Maxwell and playing some clips by her in a minute. This was Donald Trump whilst he was in Washington, D.C., talking about the success of his clampdown, if you can believe it.
But I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done in Washington, D.C. from people that haven't gone to a restaurant literally in 4 years. And they said, you know, what you've done it's unprecedented because what they said it was just unsafe. We couldn't do it. We'd go out and you'd see the stories, you'd read the stories, you'd see all of the things that are happening. And they said we couldn't stand it, sir. And now I take my wife and my kids to dinner. One of them said he's gone out 4 nights in a row and he hadn't gone out for 4 years. So it's a great tribute to you. And when I look at you people, I understand why, because there's no games, right? We're not playing games. We're going to make it safe. And we're going to then go on to other places, but we're going to stay here for a while.
So just bear in mind, he's managed to help people go to restaurants after 4 years.
So this podcast that I was listening to today with Michael Wolff, who's written all the books about him and is still has a lot of contact within the White House, and he spent 7 months with him, and he said his ability to talk is second to none. He talks all the time. He doesn't take breath. He said you could sit with him for hours. He will not listen or ask.
Does he listen to anything?
No, but he said, you know, all the people around him, like the first time he was in office, people were kind of reeling because they were all, you know, they were talking to Michael and saying, he doesn't read.
Right.
Like, he doesn't read anything.
Not even his briefing notes.
No briefing notes. You cannot give him anything to read. And he doesn't listen. So he wings everything he does. You cannot be the president of the United States of America and not have any of the detail.
But
and we're seeing that play out.
But that would speak to why he only says what he thinks the people around him at any point that are in front of him, whether it be the leader of Russia, the leader of wherever, Starmer, he says what he thinks they want to hear because he's just operating in the now.
Well, he said he has to talk almost non-stop. So he, you know, when people say, oh, we couldn't believe it, Trump rung us, because he cannot be alone. He must be talking at somebody.
Like the Norwegian finance minister.
Yeah. And he said he remembers once being at Mar-a-Lago for a big dinner, and he was right next to Trump. And from the second you meet up, he's just talking. And a lot of the time it's gobbledygook. And somebody will come up and sit down and he'll just carry on talking. He never fills anybody in. He just goes on and on. He said the Oval Office is so bizarre compared to any other presidents because, you know, it's usually quite a calm and dignified place. It's packed full of people all the time. And he said that Kushner, his son-in-law, gave Michael the advice, the thing is, never be in the room, because what he'll do, he'll talk. Nobody can say, he goes, everybody is bored shitless. They're trying to look at their phones. But at any point, he could just like turn on somebody.
But he's like a weird character from something like Shrek. He's like the king from Shrek.
Yeah.
Who just suddenly, if you say something wrong, he'll be like, off with your head.
Well, the woman that was interviewing him said, do you think it's like, is it dyslexia? Is it this, is that? And he said, no, Steve Bannon, who's very, very clever, said he rejects, wait for this. This is the president of the United States of America.
White user says sounds autistic. I asked that
Steve
earlier,
Bannon said he rejects all information.
Yes.
He was terrible at school. He couldn't do anything at school. His parents tried to force him with the information, and he was punished by sent off to a military school. And so it's like he runs his whole life now like nobody's going to tell me anything. But this is the president of the United States of America.
If I'm brutally honest,
Oh
though,
my
no.
God.
If I'm brutally honest, as a style, Fee makes a good point. I've worked with lots of high ups. They want everything on one side of A4, key bits, that's it, and the rest they go with the flow. That's not an uncommon thing.
No,
hang on. If you're willing to listen, you're willing to pause,
Absolutely.
you're willing to read in the micro, you know, in the smallest amount of detail, something. But you know, some people do just charge on and on and on. And he strikes me as someone who just goes on forever.
Well, I mean, I'm no good with the script. I'm much better just like, you know, just like going off the cuff and stuff. But this is the president. It's not like being a CEO of a company. This is, we are talking about putting the whole world at risk because he does no homework. That's why it all went tits up for him with Putin. He walked in there not knowing.
Unprepared.
I was listening to a Fox journalist today saying it was kind of petrifying when they came out because it was so clear everything had gone wrong.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you could see just in the shot of them in the back of his car that Putin was giving him what for. In that crucial moment as they got in the car, Trump was not in control of the narrative there. Everything moved too quickly. And even Putin today said in some interview he was doing somewhere, he said it was an incredibly frank conversation. That's first of all. I just want to play this last clip. So I've just got past the ICE stuff, but this clip, I don't know if you've seen, Nadia. I found this the most distressing clip I've seen this week. This is a man being accosted by us, and the reason I'm just showing these is just to show you a sense of the imagery that's coming out of America, and also I wanted to show you Donald Trump's kind of manufactured vision or idea that what he's doing is allowing people to go to restaurants now, which is a really, really important key thing, isn't it? But check this out.
She got a bruise here, baby, brother, please. Please, brother, please. She got it. Please, brother. Please, brother. She got it. Brother. Wait. Brother, please, brother, please. Please, brother. Wait.
We'll figure it out.
Brother, my wife. Brother, my wife.
What crime for running?
Brother, my wife. Brother, my wife. Wait, brother. My wife. alive. She can walk. Okay, it's not brother, she can walk, brother. Hefe, she can walk. My wife can walk.
What's your name? What's your name?
Eric.
What's your last name, Eric?
Mom says, I'm sorry. Brother, my wife can walk. Okay?
My wife, his face at the end there.
She's
My
just
wife,
had a
she
baby.
can't walk. She's just had a baby. And there's no system in place when these hoodlums go
It's
in.
when I see the women being dragged out and the men are like, imagine that, Mark, being dragged out of the house by masked men. At least they've got police and stuff. They didn't look like they were anything, right? And they're going, you come near us and you're going in as well. He'll be thinking, I've got to stay here so at least I can fight for her. She was fighting and screaming and terrified. As like
he's an illegal
bundle.
immigrant, an illegal migrant, or he'll be there. His papers will be questionable. But this is the way they go about it. This isn't, you know, a lot of people often under these lives or afterwards say, but he's only going for illegal migrants. And as if that's a fait accompli.
Not. People are being round up that are legal as well.
No, I know, but my line on that is even if they are illegal migrants, there's a way and there should be a process and there should be procedure.
Because otherwise, what is America? If people can be dragged off the street, thrown to prisons like alligator prison, which I think they're going to have to shut down, thrown to El Salvador, is that America? Is that the land of the free?
Just for some light relief, we're going to get to the main event in a minute, Ghislaine Maxwell. I just want to play you this stand-up comedian. I forget his name.
Ghislaine Maxwell isn't light relief.
No. This guy is light relief before we get to the main event, which is Ghislaine Maxwell. I forget his name, but a number of you may well know him. This is very funny, bit of stand-up, just to take a breath.
Is great. You know, I was a skeptic at first when he said he was going to make everything great again. But wow, I had no idea just how great it was going to be. I mean, every day it's like, how much greater can this get? It's just going to keep getting greater with this sociopathic huckster clown king and his buddies, the autistic billionaire techno-fascist. And somehow or another, he managed to find an actual Jewish Nazi for deputy chief of staff. Guy's really got an eye for talent. And his supporters, I mean, just this army of shills and stooges and grifters, collaborators, unfuckable hate nerds, white nationalists, crypto dorks, whack job Christian fascists. Yeah, and then there's just about like 50 million people who decided, I just like the guy. And actually hate them more than the rest of them, to be honest with you.
I hate them more than the rest.
Is he very famous?
Yeah, no, I'll find his name. It's very, 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 very funny.
Very funny.
So, okay, well, let's talk about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Is Alcatraz still in operation? I'll have to Google later.
Alcatraz, not alligator.
Because his idea for Alcatraz, which was going to cost how many billions to renovate, I don't think that's going to happen.
His name is Mark. Mark Maron, M-A-R-C, Mark Maron, M-A-R-O-N.
Follow him, guys. He's fantastic. Thank you for that, Mark Maron.
Yeah, very good.
Cheered us up.
Okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell, she said a lot has been said. This is just so that you know, do you remember a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, Deputy Attorney General went to have a chat with her, and everyone was like, "What?"
And who is he? What else is he?
Trump's Deputy Attorney General.
Trump's ex-personal lawyer.
Oh, right. There you go. I didn't know that.
Personal lawyer.
Okay. Well, there you go. But he's now the deputy. I mean, I presume everyone in Trump's circle has been something for him at some point. So the Epstein file. So the Ghislaine Maxwell interview excerpts have been released from this, and I think they've been released very much with with this in mind, that by releasing them, it will calm down the MAGA base. It will prove that everything is hunky-dory and that Trump did nothing wrong and that maybe even Epstein didn't do anything wrong. And so it's generated lots of headlines today. We talked about a number of them this morning. Let me just show you some of them. Ghislaine Maxwell wants a pardon. So just how credible is testimony from a known liar? Maxwell does not believe that Epstein died by suicide, but has no idea who killed him, testimony reveals, and other things. So I think, shall we play some of her clips? And I will listen to the woman herself. It's it's really odd listening to her.
She's almost 30s sort of posh, isn't
Yes.
she? From another one. And don't
Another
forget,
era.
her father was Robert Maxwell,
Yeah.
who the Brits will know is the owner of the
Mirror. Oddly
And-
disappeared into the sea.
Yeah, oddly disappeared into the sea, and was thought that he was an Israeli.
Do you know
spy.
what? I'm going to risk it. I'm going to say he was.
Well, everybody else says he was.
I'm going to say he was, and I'm going to say the fact that he was given almost a royal burial in Israel is proof of this fact. So, like someone just said then, in books, when you read a book in the first person, there's a device called the unreliable narrator. So you're reading it and you're thinking, oh God, but just because I'm hearing their voice doesn't mean you trust them. Why do we trust her? Why can we trust? How can we trust anything she says? Now,
Right, yeah, because she is a sex offender.
Yeah.
She's a child sex trafficker. And you know what? Before we watch her, because I always think this is important, the poor victims have begged, right, to come to the White House and give their version of events. They have said they have a lot to say. Nobody wants to listen to them. They have begged for her to be put back in the prison she should be in, because she's in now a cushy one, isn't she? And yet Trump does not want to hear from any of them. So interesting, isn't it? And yet he sends his personal lawyer
now,
to have a chat with
yeah. Now, before we go into these clips from her and we listen to her voice, Mark just heard the news: Netanyahu is annexing part of Jordan. You might want to get Dina just to quickly check that.
Dina, check.
Is that? I noticed a couple of reports suggesting something similar.
Netanyahu is annexing a
Part of Jordan.
Yeah, have a look.
So before we go into this clip, I think if there was one thing, here's a top tip. If there was one thing the Deputy Attorney General, Trump's former lawyer, should have maybe thought about, and another detail Ghislaine Maxwell should have thought about, and by extension, Trump himself should have thought about before releasing these audio clips, it's that if she says she's seen absolutely nothing and keeps doubling down on how everyone did nothing wrong when she's in prison due to the testimonies of X amount of people who were sex trafficked and raped, sexually abused as children.
Only 1,000.
If nothing comes out, if she spins out something that's totally clean without a few tidbits of doubt, it's totally dismissible. Totally dismissible.
Has she not been found guilty and been given a sentence of 21 years? This
Yes.
is what I don't understand.
But my advice to them would have been just throw in a few crumbs of ambivalence.
No, there's nothing
They're
to
very
see.
simplistic.
Nothing bad happened.
But anyway, so let's have a listen.
He did not die.
The first clip is about what she thinks actually happened to Epstein.
He did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about.
I do not believe he died by suicide, no.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who killed him?
No, I don't. I certainly never witnessed the president in any of, I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
Gentleman.
A gentleman.
There's your first clip. So a gentleman, and so she carries on. There's another.
Liked him very much, and he really liked his wife as well, because they were both Czechoslovakian. And as far as I'm concerned, President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me. And I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now, and I like him. And I've always liked him. So that is the sum and substance of my entire relationship with him.
What about Mr. Epstein's relationship with him?
I don't know how they met, and I don't know how they became friends. I certainly saw them together, and I remember the few times I observed them together that they were friendly. I mean,
was that in social settings or was that in private settings?
I believe I only ever saw them in social settings. I don't recall any private settings. I think they were friendly, like people are in social settings. I don't think they were close friends, or I certainly never witnessed the president in any of, I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
We were talking about what has been publicly discussed as a black book or the Epstein list, and that's where we are. So you said you think you might know, or that you're aware of kind of the origin of this narrative.
Right. I just want to reiterate again, there is no list that I am aware of. I've never, at any time, at least during the period of time when I was present.
Okay.
So before we just, yeah,
who believes one word of that?
Do you get what I mean when I say that it's too perfectly
and
calibrated?
he doesn't challenge her
nothing
on anything. Oh, really? What, he was never at that? I mean, that is like the biggest slap in the face. It's going like this to the world. Look, you got to swallow that, even though it's really obvious she's bullshitting. She's been given this, and do you know what? Wouldn't you if you were her? She's facing 21 years in a really tough prison, and now she might be pardoned.
But I think the bigger question here is anyone gonna buy into this, or is Trump literally gonna ride this one out?
Yeah, he is.
He's gonna ride this one out. Not one word of truth.
It.
I mean, and again, it's too perfectly calibrated. She delivers every. He's an admirable man. She admires his achievements. I mean, in other parts of the interview, she talks about how Prince Andrew wasn't at fault. It was Fergie that introduced them and pushed them towards each other. She also said that she saw no evidence of Clinton ever getting a massage or of any form. This is a woman who's wooed and groomed and ensnared young children.
And also, listen to this. She didn't know any of them were underage.
Well, on that, this final clip I found.
Now, some of them were 14. Are you serious?
Check this clip out. Just check this clip out. I found this at the last minute.
That she never saw Jeffrey Epstein engage in anything that was non-consensual.
At some point, he was getting massages 7 days a week, sometimes multiple massages a day. Women have said that were there, that say they were there giving him massages, said that those included some sort of sexual conduct, however you define that in the broadest sense, not just a traditional massage regularly. So what did you see and hear at the time? Where does that leave you in your mind with what happened?
Okay, so I saw Epstein with women. What I mean by that is he would have women around him. So anytime I saw anybody with him, they were happy to be with him. So I never saw an aggressive move. I never saw anything that was
non-consensual.
Well, thank you. Okay. I never saw anything that was non-consensual.
Did you see him engage in sexual conduct during massages?
Well, you could define sexual conduct as in, I did see women who could have been, less than normally clad for a massage, but especially on the island where they would be in a bikini or possibly even topless. Yeah, I did see that.
What the hell? What the hell? Now,
it's quite a shocking clip,
now I'm sure many of you will have heard some of the testimony from these girls. Brutal she was. Brutal. Shoving them back into the room when they had been brutally sexually assaulted. That one of the first questions, I can't remember who it was how old are you? This is unbelievable. Is there anybody here that believes any of this?
I mean, and also, what can we do about it? What can be done to prove anything against it? I mean, how is this going to be sufficient?
Is MAGA going to buy this?
I don't think MAGA is going to buy this. Surely Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are going to kick back on this.
Oh, God, they will. I mean, are they still MAGA? Do MAGA still listen to them?
Well, like MeTube says, I mean, MAGA, does MAGA care? Does MAGA genuinely care? MAGA is Make America Great Again, his fan base, because that's now not the majority of those who support it necessarily. MAGA needs this, says YT user.
And
not a
they
word
will
of it.
just go, oh, okay, that is it. And will they go to bed at night really thinking that's it?
I do genuinely think that there is an element in his support base that if they see it written in black and white, he did not do it. They'll just simply go, okay, well, I'll accept that. It's like people who go, are you all right today? Yeah, just trying to ignore a genocide. I'll just get on with my day then.
Yeah.
People do just want to get on with their day. And if they're offered an easy fillip, as in F-I-L-L-I-P, you know, thrown at them as a kind of, here you go, just take that, that'll do it. That's how the media works. That's how cover-ups work. That's how
let it ride along.
Yeah.
You know, he'll create a few more wars to distract. But so it was after this interview that she was then moved to this prison, which is the cushiest prison. It's where the housewives go, you know, housewives of New Jersey.
That's
and
interesting.
It's where the showbiz people go. Okay, you can do yoga. You can have, like, I don't know, knitting circles. It's a soft, really soft. No prison is easy, right? Let's be straight here. But nobody ever goes there for that kind of for those charges. So wait for this that I heard today. Wait for this. So you may have seen last week.
Sarah Dalton, we're not taking it as the truth.
No, we are not. You may have seen last week that the story about one of the prisoners had complained about the fact that a sex trafficker was in that prison, because you're not supposed to be in that kind of a prison, right? You're not.
Sorry, I thought she was out. Sorry.
You're not. Sex traffickers should never be in that kind of prison, right? So, guess what? The woman that complained about Ghislaine has been moved out of the cushy prison and put into a tough prison. So, as they were saying on this news channel I was watching in America, so there we go. It's got to the point now where if you offend Trump's friend, Ghislaine Maxwell, who, don't forget, she used the same language as he did. I like her. I like her very much. I hope she's okay. She had a boyfriend. Do you remember when people asked about her? He's always said, I liked her. He has never said a single word about the victims.
YT user says MAGA have plausible deniability now with this. That's exactly
plausible
that's all they
deniability.
need. That's all they need. You're absolutely
I'll
right.
be fascinated to see, though.
Yeah.
Because there are many that did turn against him through this.
Yeah.
So let's see. Because if not a single person here thinks a word of that sounds like the truth.
Okay, I want to nibble into the topic of the sort of stability of his mind and his body. I'm sorry to take us there. We're going to talk about his hand. We're going to talk about his ankles, but I just want to show you this clip of him. But I really want to show you this clip in the Oval Office. I think it was shot yesterday or earlier today. And he pulls out a photograph. Well, just listen to it. I want your verdict on this now. Do you like to diagnose? So maybe diagnose this
picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming, and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay? Mr. President, yes.
Subject. Have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to that?
I'm not happy about it. And I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all. We'll see what happens. I think over the next 2 weeks, we're going to find out which way it's going to go. And I better be very happy.
What the fuck?
I mean, that's what Michael Wolff said. He waffles on. He doesn't say anything.
No. So hang on. He's allegedly now stopped 7 wars and 3 pre-wars. He's stopping wars before wars start. He's a war interceptor. But I
fixed how many wars? I didn't give a ceasefire at all. Did you see all of that? It was like, oh my God.
I'm gonna say something more kind of contentious about that clip.
Don't do
I felt like when he was looking at the photo, I don't think he was talking about. I think he'd forgotten he'd met Putin. It felt like he was talking about him coming last week. He's
Oh,
coming.
that was him before.
No, this was 2 days. This was yesterday.
I thought this was before.
No, he's talking about him coming, and then he turns to Vance. I'm sure that is there's a degree of senility there, isn't
Well,
it?
I mean, just the fact that he looks like a 16-year-old girl who's suddenly got a boyfriend, and he's showing everybody the photo of him.
But apparently, for about a whole minute in front of the world's press, he was searching for a Sharpie to sign it. In another clip, let me show you this one.
The families of hostages are in Israel. Families of hostages are opposed to the reoccupying of Gaza. Why is the U.S. still
Well, not
supporting
all of them. And you have to understand, I'm the one that got all of the hostages out. You got a lot of people out. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be out. I worked with Bibi and I worked with Steve Witkoff. But if it wasn't for me, you would have all these hostages would most likely be dead right now, every one of them. So they all come up here. They come in groups of 10, 12, 13, and many of them, and I've gotten to know a lot of them, they're great people. What they had to go through is incredible. But so now they have 20, but the 20 is actually probably not 20 because a couple maybe aren't around any longer. It's a terrible thing. No, I don't like anymore. I said, you know, when you get down to 20, they're not going to make deals anymore. And they didn't. And then I put out a statement, as you know, there was a tough statement, go in and get them. And they said, we'll give you 10, we'll give you 10. I don't know what Israel's doing, but they were willing now immediately to give us another 10. The situation has to end. It's extortion and it has to end. And we'll see what happens. I actually think they're safer in many ways if you went in and you really went in fast and you did it. And people can't forget October 7th, remember that. I'm friendly with all groups. I won the Arab vote in Michigan. I did so great with the Arab vote, remember? I started off at 0, I ended up winning. I wouldn't say the candidate was the greatest, but I would have won against anybody. They're great people. But we have to do things properly. And
I just had to turn him off just because he's just rambling on like a nutcase.
Ellery said, what is he actually talking about?
But he is
anything.
dribbling absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
I hate him. And Netanyahu, my God. People, the thing is, you see, this is the problem. Because he's a sociopath, he doesn't, I mean, even those hostages, he was talking about them just like a numbers 20,
and then you get to 10, and then if you
How
get to
awful
20,
for their
but then people kind of said thank
and
you to
let's
me.
talk about the numbers of the Palestinian, hundreds of thousands,
and then on a podcast,
not 60,000.
Yeah, and on a podcast he said, you know, I guess Netanyahu is a war hero, which I guess makes me a war hero too, because we were talking to each other on the phone. I mean, it's dystopian.
Everything, you're right.
Dystopian.
Everything.
Just quickly, John Bolton, this is a clip of Trump just talking about whether he knew of the FBI's raid of John Bolton. What this speaks to, for anyone who doesn't know who John Bolton is, he was a member of Donald Trump's original administration. He was involved with a lot of international diplomacy. He was considered to be hawkish, as in go to war, go to war, go to war. And he's very critical of Trump since Trump's got back in. He's been very critical of Trump.
And he has written a number of books where potentially he could have written things that we wouldn't be allowed.
Shouldn't have written.
Without permission.
And so, but this incident speaks to the vengeful nature of Trump.
The president.
So listen to how he responds to the press asking, what do you know about the FBI raid
we didn't look at Trump's
of John
hand.
Bolton's? We're going there now.
On the FBI raid of John Bolton.
no, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. Sort of a lowlife. When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does. But he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If you could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me. Probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister.
I don't want to. I tell Pam and I tell the group. I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do.
I thought you didn't know.
I thought you didn't know anything about
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. Unpatriotic. I mean, we're going to Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do. I guess his house was raided today, but my house was raided also.
Yes.
Called Mar-a-Lago. They went.
Okay, so just wait. He talks about his house being raided.
Yeah, why? Because you had all the bloody documents in the toilet.
But you know how he goes on the weave and the deviation?
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
He deviates to the oddest place.
Good, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes. They went through everything you can imagine. And when she came back, she said, she's very neat, you know, she's meticulous. And she looked and she said, whoa, this wasn't the way that she had it. So, you know, so I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling. Thank you.
So he takes us to Melania's knicker drawer.
He's not okay.
He's not okay. Well, let's look at his hand. So a number of people are commenting. Trump's hand makeup has returned after questions about president's health over swollen ankle sightings. Here's the image. President Trump's mysterious bruise grows as MAGA base begins to think he could be dying. It's badly applied, but then all of his foundation is badly applied, isn't it?
Does he do his foundation himself?
I don't know. So this is the story that, yeah, a large patch of what appears to be foundation, a lighter shade, clearly visible on his hand. But apparently the White House have said, there's a great line here in the Telegraph. The White House says that Trump was, let me just, they say in a meeting in the White House, sorry, there's a really funny line. He's got minor bruising on the backs of his hands, minor soft tissue irritation. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy and having to shake hands a lot. Who thinks he's dying?
Well, aspirin therapy, well, I don't know if aspirin does it, but blood thinners do it, don't they? You can get bruises really easily if you've got blood thinners. But he always tells us he's got immaculate, perfect health. So why would he need blood thinners?
But what are the things that you often say I need, which is like it's a pep thing where you put something in your arm and it gives you a pepper. You always say, oh, you could do with a vitamin B jab or a vitamin...
Oh, a B12.
Yeah, could it be something as benign as that?
He'd have it in his arm, not in his hand.
He's already dead to me.
What about the swollen ankles, though?
Isn't aspirin a blood thinner?
It is, but not like, yeah, but it's not, it is a blood thinner.
Aspirin helps stop bruising.
Not like warfarin, you know, where you can just knock yourself and get a really bad...
I mean, some people in MAGA are saying that he will collapse within the next year and be dead.
Well, Emily,
let's say Emily says blood thinners, yes, are probably a clot. Sorry.
I love the way she's so emphatic.
It was how blunt.
Emily is not pulling up.
Are you an A&E
nurse?
Maybe
is anyone a nurse or a
trauma
doctor?
Nurse? All that flying in the air can't be good, says MRC.
He's never off that bloody plane. It's because he loves that plane.
As Mars says, look, all he eats is McDonald's and Coca-Cola. So
he's going to bite you.
He will cark it soon.
Apparently, he doesn't sleep either. He talks. He rings people up, and he talks until he falls asleep.
Is he one of those guys
all the time?
Is he one of those guys that when he rings you, everyone's like, "Oh no, it's fucking Donald."
Yeah, I think it is.
Donald. It's Donald.
Trump rages as his swollen legs are scrutinized. Look at that face.
His swollen legs are scrutinized.
Oh dear.
He'll hate that. He'll be on
the White House says he had mild swelling in his lower legs, visible in press pool photos. He's got a venous insufficiency, apparently. He's got more than that insufficiency.
So if he dies, J.D. Vance becomes president.
Yep.
That's just
Do you know that since he's become president, is it $2.5 billion he's made?
More than, yeah, no, it's $2.5
$2.5 billion he's made, unheard of.
But if do we think J.D. Vance would be better or worse than Trump?
Well, people say it's going to be worse. I don't think
worse. Could he be worse? Who thinks he'll be worse? And then we'll head off. Better or worse? Better or worse? Please do subscribe as well.
Oh, he's raged about it. About
his father only lived to 85, if I remember MeTube. So he's only got another 5 years, hasn't he?
Did you?
Defo worse. Oh shit! Don't say that. Not Vance, says Dawny Harvey. The same. Patman 67. Yeah.
So he's furious.
Couldn't get worse, says Martina McCann.
He's furious about his legs.
Yeah.
MSNBC is doing so poorly in the ratings that they're looking to change their name in order to get away from the stench of their fake news product.
Oh my God.
The president fulminated. I've heard that with before.
It's a great word, isn't it?
Fulminated.
Is that kind of like getting furious?
So much fun to watch their weak and ineffective owner, Comcast, headed by dopey Brian Roberts, hopelessly and aimlessly flailing in the wind in an attempt to disassociate himself. He doesn't have these words.
He just sits there and he just says the words. I love words. They're great big things. Some
What's
of them
his
are
words
old.
at the moment?
Some of the words are old and some of them sound like trilateral. And if you can't say trilateral, you just say trilat.
He was saying the other day,
It's
he
a
learns a
wonderful
new
word.
word and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Because egregious went on for ages.
I didn't like egregious. I like groceries.
Because Biden had said egregious, and then like about 3 or 4 weeks later, obviously Trump had been practicing it over and over again in the bathroom, and then he started saying it egregious, but he was saying it all the time.
God.
But now it's trilateral.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for all of your comments. I hope you've we've kind of walked you through the worst and the weirdest of American culture and politics as we
Curtis
speak.
Yarvin, I don't know who that is. That's who Vance is aligned to.
Worse, because it will be
scary?
Vance supported by the Project 25 team plus the far right Christians.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, no, but Project 25
It's happening.
Is it now? Isn't
It's
it?
happening.
I mean, that's Trump.
I do wonder if he's accelerating all of the troops everywhere because he knows his time, his days. I mean, the thing about all these old leaders is even Netanyahu eventually has to peg it.
He doesn't think he'll die.
Netanyahu. No, I know he doesn't
Trump
think
doesn't.
it.
Trump
No, I know
thinks
none
he's
of them
gonna
think
live
they.
forever.
No, I know none of them think they will, but they have to.
But you
At
know,
some point.
today there was lots of commentators saying how used he is, Trump. Everyone hates him. He's very lonely. He's got
just
no
checking the
family. He's got no
Jordan stuff,
nothing. Nobody wants to spend time with him.
Yeah.
But and because he's stupid.
Who, Trump?
Yeah. So everybody wants something from him, whether it's crypto, whether it's power.
Yeah.
And so everyone sort of fawns around him and just gives him whatever they want, but they do it
Hating him.
loathing
Oh, he's
him
hated.
apparently, yeah.
No, I can't see anything about Jordan, so I don't know where you got that story from.
Melania, where did you get it from, honey?
Where did you get it, guys?
Melania
Where
Trump.
did you find the story? Gaza latest, 5 minutes ago, Sky News. Melania Trump urged to confront Netanyahu over Gaza children. That's dozens killed by Israelis.
Oh, we'll do that.
Gantz calls for temporary government as he warns hostages are in mortal danger. Form a temporary government of redeeming the captives. That's amazing. Okay, no, there's nothing read.
Nothing as yet, but we will
thankfully.
keep looking.
Okay, guys, but thank you, guys. Do subscribe, and we will not see you tomorrow, but we will see you on Monday.
Okay,
Take
that's
care,
a lot.
guys.